Donald Trump's proposed budget. It is ridiculous. They're going to cut out LIHEAP. They're cutting LIHEAP out. They're cutting the co-op out, the rural business co-op. So I'm just going to read a list of all the programs that the Trump administration wants to chop. And some of these are symbolic, okay? So it's only a dog whistle for things to come. So they're going to go ahead and float it out there. Yeah, we're going to cut your LIHEAP. How do you feel about that? We're going to cut some Medicaid and food stamps. Are you guys okay with that? Let's see how you feel about it. So here we go. He wants to cut $855 million from the Agricultural Department. The McGovern-Dole International Food for Education. International Food for Education. Is that George McGovern and Robert Dole? Bob Dole? McGovern and Dole agreed on something? Okay. Then in the Agricultural Department, Rural Business Cooperative Service. Going to cut the Rural Business Cooperative Service. The Rural Water and Waste Disposal Program Account. Rural Waste, Water and Waste. So he's fucking over the rural people, right? Rural people won't know if their business cooperative is gone. They won't know if their water and waste disposal program is gone. And then he also wants to cut single-family housing direct loans. Which that sounds nice. I mean, a lot of this shit I don't even fucking know about. I don't even know that this shit's offered to us. So they do a shitty job of actually advertising what things are good for the American people. Single-family housing direct loans is the Agricultural Department. Why? The Department of Agriculture deals with single-family housing direct loans. Well, probably not anymore because Trump's going to cut the shit out of it. So, Commerce Department, $633 million being cut. The Economic Development Administration is going to be cut. The Manufacturing Extension Partnership, the Minority Business Development Agency, big shocker there, right? Going after the minorities. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Grants and Education. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Grants and Education. Okay. So the Education Department, the $4.976 billion, $5 billion. He's cutting $5 billion from education. And what's he cutting out? He's going to cut out the 21st Century Community Learning Centers. He's going to cut out the Comprehensive Literacy Development Grants. He's going to cut out the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grants. So that sucks, right? The Federal Supplemental Opportunity Grants? Nope, not anymore. Comprehensive Literacy Development Grants, 21st Century Community Learning Centers, Impact Aid Payments for Federal Property, International Education, Strengthening Institutions, Student Support and Academic Enrichment Grants, Supporting Effective Instruction State Grants, and Teacher Quality Partnership. Energy Department is getting $398 million cut. The Advanced Research Projects Agency, Energy, the Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program, and Title 17 Innovative Technology Loan Guarantee Program, and the Mixed Oxide Fuel Fabrication Facility. Mixed oxide fuel. Is there a reason we need mixed oxide fuel? Some of these things, I don't know. That Oceanic and Atmospheric, what was that? National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Grants and Education. I wonder if that's climate change, actually. So you can't judge the program by its name, but fuck, I don't know about any of these goddamn programs. So horrible, public relations, horrible fucking. You're not getting your information. This is shit that we've been offered, and I mean. I remember actually when I did student loans at Spalding University, that advisor acted like she got to know all the information. She was privy to the, what programs and grants are out there, but she wasn't forthcoming with information. She was just like, would stare at you like you're a fucking, like, why are you here? I'm a student? I don't know. Maybe treat me better than a fucking, God, you get treated better at Walmart, as a customer at Walmart than you would at Spalding University at Louisville. Fuck you, Spalding University. Okay, now that I got that out of my system. Community Services Block Grant. So the mixed oxide fuel fabrication, do we need that? Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program. Title 17 Innovative Technology Loan Guarantee Program. I know that sounds important, but I'm not for sure what any of these actually do. The ones I've mentioned, I've said, you know, the low-income home energy assistance program. That means, fuck, this is when Hugo Chavez is better than Donald Trump. So if it's cold in the wintertime, Donald Trump says that you and your family should freeze to death. That's what LIHEAP is, Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP. Health and Human Services, $4.8 billion is going to get sliced and diced, including the Community Services Block Grant, the Health Professions and Nurse Training Programs. I know a lot of people that become nurses because of those training programs. And then the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. We're not going to research healthcare anymore and the quality of it. But we're going to cut your LIHEAP. So families, poor families, you're going to fucking freeze to death because Trump is cutting LIHEAP right now. It's summertime, so you might not be thinking about it, but winter is just right around the corner. And hell, this is Colorado. It just snowed April 29th. April 29th. Homeland Security, good. Let's actually just dissolve Homeland Security, the FBI, the CIA. Let's get brand new intelligence agencies in there. It's an oxymoron. Military intelligence, it's an oxymoron. Let's just start anew, brand spanking new. Let's just do something else, okay? One's J. Edgar Hoover. The other one is doing all these covert fucking overthrowing government operations all throughout the world. Destabilization programs. Why do you know, there's all this unrest in all these countries? Why? Well, because we're spending money so that there is unrest. And then we could go and invade because there's unrest. Housing and urban development. Wait. The Homeland Security Flood Hazard Mapping and Risk Analysis Program is being cut, and the Transportation Security Administration Law Enforcement Grants. Transportation Security Administration Law Enforcement Grants. Good. TSA. Fuck the TSA. They haven't done shit anyways. In fact, more TSA agents have been thrown in jail than what they've caught. And what an embarrassment. You know, embarrassing. I guess it's the airport, but there was airport security beforehand. And unless you want to deputize every single one of us, let's all of us just put on our military hats and go around looking for terrorists, okay? That seems to be, that would be a better solution than all this other shit that they're doing. Everybody be on the lookout, be vigilant, don't profile, don't discriminate. Here's what you need to look for. You know, any talk of overthrowing the government, anybody saying that, you know, they want to hurt others, you can find out. It's easy to find out. You know, you don't have to discriminate against anybody. Tim McVeigh was a terrorist. The KKK was a terrorist. So white people can be terrorists just like anybody else. Housing and urban development, $4.1 billion, sliced and diced, going to get cut out. Choice neighborhoods, community development block, home investment partnerships program, self-help, and assisted home ownership opportunity program account. So, home investment partnerships program, that sounds, you probably should need that. Community development, and how is the community going to develop? What the fuck? Who the fuck is getting all this goddamn money and not fucking passing it out to the goddamn community? This is pissing me off because there's so much fucking money out here that some people know where this money goes. The bureaucrats, they fucking know. I don't know, I kind of like the whole draining the swamp idea, not Trump's. I would trust Jill Stein or Bernie Sanders. If they say this is wasteful and we don't need it, okay, I believe you. And how much did he cut out of the military, right? We spend, what, over half our budget. We spend, you know, as much on our military as the entire world combined. And what do we get out of that? We could have bought Iraq. We could have bought Iraq and Libya for all the fucking money. The trillions. Hey, Saddam, can we just buy your country? We'll give you $1 trillion. Nobody has to die, and we don't blow up anybody. Interior Department, $122 million is going to get cut. Abandoned mine land grants. Abandoned mine land grants. So, I guess coal mines, silver mines, land grants. I'm not sure what they're doing. Maybe passing those out or I don't know. Heritage Partnership Program, National Wildlife Refuge Fund. So, the Wildlife Refuge. That's where the bird sanctuary. Isn't that where the Bundy, that Eamon Bundy, isn't that where he went? So, Justice Department, $210 million. The State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, Justice Department, $210 million is being cut from the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program. Oh my God, the alien assistance. We need to assist our aliens. To call somebody an alien, that's cold-blooded. To call somebody illegal, you're illegal. Why? because you were born over there and then you walked over here. You're not legal. But I'm still a person, no? Not according to our laws, you're not. No, okay. Justice Department, $210 million state criminal alien assistance program is getting cut. I don't know. I like the Justice Department. Justice Department helped a lot when it came to Ferguson, Missouri, at least under Obama. Very good work. Eric Holder in Ferguson, Missouri. Labor Department had thousands of pages. Supposedly, like 90% of the black population had a warrant or had been thrown in jail at one point. In Ferguson, 90%. Everybody goes to jail. Labor Department, $527 million being cut. Migrant and seasonal farm worker training. So, yep, fuck the immigrants. OSHA training grants, not teaching anybody about the Occupational Safety Hazard Administration training grants. No more safety in the workplace. Nobody's going to be trained to see if there's safety, you have a safe workplace anymore. Senior Community Service Employment Program. Senior Community Service. So, sorry, seniors, if you want to get a job through the employment program. Now you can't. State Department and USAID, $4.3 billion. Now, this is interesting. The State Department and the USAID, this would be a lot of the times where the money is funneled to overthrow governments, USAID. And it's also where Egypt and Israel gets their biggest, fattest checks. It actually only makes up about like 1% foreign aid does. Of the budget, it's only about 1 or 2%, but there's a lot. It's controversial, right? And I think it's actually, this is important. I don't know where they're cutting it from. We need to cut it from, right now you got Donald Trump who's embracing Egypt. In 2011, the Egyptian people want to overthrow their government, but the military stepped in and said, no, the people that you just voted to be your democratic leader, we just coup d'etat and now we're in charge. The military's been in charge the whole time. Well, the Mubarak was in there the whole time for 30 fucking years. We kept giving him USAID. We kept giving him foreign aid. I'm pretty sure foreign aid is USAID. So we've been giving him foreign aid for 30 fucking years. He's a brutal dictator, and now we're still giving a brutal military right-wing dictator who Donald Trump embraced. When they asked Obama about the Egyptian revolution, they said, do you want to be on the right side of history? And that's what convinced him to be on the side of the revolutionaries. That's the only war that I agree with. Revolution. If it's not revolution, count me out. Fuck all war. Fuck all war. Only revolutionary war might be justified, but it better be fucking revolutionary. To use violence, you'd have to fight against a violent government. But fuck all war. I'm sick of war. I'm so sick of war. War is going to kill us all, and we've been at war for 16 fucking years. And war is oppressive and violent and aggressive, and it's fascist, and it creates more enemies than, it doesn't win hearts and minds. It only, smashes people's souls with an iron fist. So, State Department of USAID, $4.3 billion, development assistance, earmarked appropriations for nonprofit organizations, the Asia Foundation, East West Center, PL 480, Title II Food Aid. I don't know those specific programs. State Department of USA, Treasury Department, $1.6 billion being cut. The Green Climate Fund and Global Climate Change Initiative. That's horrible. That's horrible. Climate change is going to kill us all, and so is nuclear weapons. And those two major issues, the Republican Party is basically driving humanity towards extinction. Towards extinction. We're already in the 6th phase of extinction anyways. The 6th wave, the extinction wave. Transportation Department, $499 million being cut from the National Infrastructure Investments, the Tiger Fund. Treasury Department, $43 million. The Global Agricultural and Food Security Program. Environmental Protection Agency, $493 million is being cut. Energy Star and Voluntary Climate Programs and Geographic Programs. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, $269 million. 5 Earth Science Missions. And Office of Education is being cut. So NASA, we're cutting NASA. Other independent, we should be in the Mars by now. Why are we not terraformed Mars yet? How come we haven't fucking done this shit yet? Other independent agencies, $2.7 billion. Chemical Safety Board, Corporation for National and Community Service, Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Oh my God. Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It's PBS. PBS, and I think maybe even NPR. He's cutting fucking Big Bird. Institute of Museum and Library Services, International Development Foundations, African Development Foundation, Inter-American Foundation, Legal Services Corporation, National Endowment for the Arts, National Endowment for the Humanities. God damn it. Neighborhood Reinvestment Corporation. That, you know, the designated survivor is a million times better president than Trump. It's so, God, the West Wing presidency, the designated survivor, any fictional accounts of how government should work, Parks and Recreation, all these are way better shows of how government should work versus how it actually does. Because in the designated survivor, they actually, National Endowment for the Arts was like the main thing. It was musicians and music, and the Speaker of the House stepped down as long as you made sure the National Endowment for the Arts got their funds. The Overseas Private Investment Corporation, Neighborhood Reinvestment Corporation, Regional Commissions, Appalachian Regional Commission. He's coming after you, Appalachia. He don't give a shit about you. He don't care about you. Remember when Obama just gave you a bunch of money to help find new jobs and shit? Like $1 billion? The Delta Regional Authority, the Denali Commission, Northern Border Regional Commission, U.S. Institute of Peace, U.S. Trade and Development Agency, and the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars. Good. Fuck Woodrow Wilson. That might have been the only good fucking thing he did. Woodrow Wilson he invaded Haiti, invaded Mexico. He got us into World War I. Everybody got gassed to death. What was World War I for? Well, here's what World War I was for. Eugene Debs went to jail for 10 years for speaking out against it. And one of the best, greatest speeches I've ever fucking read, a socialist, Eugene Debs. It also created the Red Scare. But World War I. And the Creel Commission came out of it, the propaganda campaign that's been, you know, teaching all you people who's not watching me. If you're watching me, you're smart, okay? But all the other dumbasses out there. And, let's see, the Red Scare, the Creel Commission, J. Edgar Hoover comes out of there, J. Mitchell Palmer, or A. Mitchell Palmer, the Palmer Raids. World War I. World War I was because a Serbian nationalist shot the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This was Austrian-Hungarian. The Austrian-Hungarian Empire thought that it could control the Serbian territory in the Balkans. They were going to say, even though we've never been here, this is our territory because we kings circled it on the map, and they said that I get the Balkans, so therefore I get to control you. The Archduke Franz Ferdinand wasn't the king. He was the next in line to be king if the king died ever. So actually he had zero power. Some influence, right? He's the son of the king, but not the king. And when he was there in Serbia, a Serbian nationalist, Gavrilo Filip, killed him. And he assassinated him, and then he dies in prison. So they captured Gavrilo, and it was actually like a simple assassination. They were just, in fact, they had like 4 or 5 times they about got assassinated in the same day, and then they just pulled up to the curb. Gavrilo Princip saw his, you know, fucking opportunity. There's a big statue of Gavrilo Princip today in Kosovo, I believe, which is in Serbia no more. Hold on, let me get to that part here. That's Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders voted to break up Yugoslavia because it was the last socialist stronghold in Europe. Also global hegemony right next to Russia. Many reasons to invade other countries, right? The neoliberal sort of, let's just test this. Let's just invade a little bit and see what the American people do. And then that sets the stage for George W. Bush being like, yeah, we're the fucking empire. What you going to do about it? So in Serbia, Gavrilo Filip Princip, that's something. The Serbian nationalist who assassinated the Archduke Franz Ferdinand is what starts World War I. Why does that start World War I? Well, you have the alliance system. So when Serbia shot the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, then you had Austria-Hungary be like, well, what the fuck are we going to do? And the Germans are like, well, why don't you give them an ultimatum? And so they listened to the Germans. It's not the Germans' fault. They were suggesting they were pushing them into war, but it's the Austrian-Hungarians' fault. So Austria-Hungarian says, all right, Serbia, you went ahead and killed our Archduke Franz Ferdinand, right, and his wife. You killed them, and the only way that we're going to let you get away with this shit is if you sign this document, this ultimatum, which says we get to take over everything. Well, surprise, surprise, nobody fucking signed the goddamn document, because who would sign that if the Chinese just came up to America and be like, hey, well, go ahead and, you know, that thing that you did in the Pacific, we'll let you get by with it as long as you give your entire country to us. So, of course, Serbia said no, and that started a war. So Austria-Hungarian had to, you know, they were calling their bluff, so they weren't bluffing, so they went ahead and invaded. When Austria-Hungarian invaded Serbia, Russia came to the defense of Serbia. And then the Germans was on the side of the Austrians, and then France and Britain, and then everybody just started choosing. So all the fucking, I think it was mostly because of the German war machine, the Prussians. When the Prussians said, yes, you get to take over the Balkans, Serbia is yours, Austrian-Hungarian Empire, we will back you because that's who the fuck we are. Well, that's the precursor to the Nazis, right? The fucking Nazis. So we went against German, we backed the UK, and then we just jumped into the fucking middle of it. It's about a year and a half. One of the worst, horrible disasters ever known in human history. White people want to talk about being civilized. Well, World War I, World War II, those were severe breakdowns in your so-called civilized society. And so World War I actually ends off very good because it ends the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. There is no more Austrian-Hungarian Empire. Almost want to say they became two different countries, but they're not an empire anymore. They weren't sprawling. They weren't trying to take over every goddamn thing. And so that's one of the consequences of World War I. And did we win? Did the Germans win? Did the British win? I mean, what the fuck did we get out of World War I? Nobody fucking knows because it's so goddamn complicated. But let's fast forward till today. We invaded Kosovo, which was formerly part of Serbia. We invaded Serbia, broke off Kosovo for the Albanian Muslims. That's what we did under Bill Clinton in 1999, and Bernie Sanders voted in favor of it 1 month after the bombing had began. Now there's, you know, black, dark, CIA torture sites and, you know, shit like that in there because it's the international community now gets to own Kosovo. So where the Austrian-Hungarians had failed, they couldn't conquer Serbia, we were able to do that. And guess who was our allies when we went into Serbia? The Germans. So we, with the Germans, went into Serbia and supposedly to defend the Albanian minority, killed Serbians. Put Serbians back into just Serbia, cut Kosovo off. Kosovo, which is the heart of the Serbian nationality. Their homeland is Kosovo. But the Albanian minority, the Ottoman Empire, they had, said it was theirs for a long time. And, I don't know. I don't know if there was atrocities or not. Both sides are doing some shitty sides. In fact, it sounds like the Kosovo Liberation Army could have been just a complete construct of German and American intelligence services. So if we have a terrorist that says, you know what, because the shit you did in Kosovo, that's why we're doing this shit, and you're like, well, I didn't do nothing in Kosovo. Well, if you're a fucking Democrat and you was all for Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton's imperialism, or Bernie Sanders, who voted in favor of it a month after it began, the bombing campaign lasted for 100 days. And the first 30 days, they didn't even ask the House. Once they got the Senate approval, they just started dropping bombs. But a month later, after all these bombs have been dropped, then Bernie Sanders says, yes. What the fuck do you have to lose? Once the war began, they didn't even ask you if, Bernie Sanders, if you should be at war. They didn't even ask you. At no point in time did they say, hey, Bernie, should we go to Kosovo? So why would you pretend, like, oh, I was on board. No, I was totally in favor of that. No, in fact, it seems like you have nothing to lose to vote against war. Nothing. Unless you're attacked and, and you want to attack back. But even the war on terror, that whole, bill is pretty... It was a blank check to go after an unspecified enemy for an unspecified amount of time. That looks like it's going to be a war forever. A war against an idea. And have we killed terror? During the American Revolution, weren't the Americans the terrorists? And then Bin Laden was a freedom fighter, but Nelson Mandela was a terrorist, according to Ronald Reagan? Come on. So... in conclusion, fuck Woodrow Wilson and the International Center for Scholars. I'm glad that one's cut. All the rest of this, the Appalachian Regional Commission, LIHEAP, I know food stamps and Medicaid's on it too, the NASA programs, the National Endowment for the Humanities and for the Arts, the Legal Services Corporation, which is, I think, for poor people. African Development Foundation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So Big Bird might get cut. Big Bird might get cut. Thanks, Donald Trump, you piece of shit. Impeach Trump. John Masters, Pueblo, Colorado. Viva la Revolucion.